Today's show sponsor is brought to you by Elevated Media Company, a videography-based service specializing in marketing, wedding, and real estate video services right here in Hancock County. To find out more information about them, please go check out @Elevated Media Company on Facebook. Now, let's go dive into episode 1 of Inside Hancock County with Mitch Gibson. I hope you all enjoy. I am Mitch Gibson, sitting here joined by Executive Director of the Hope House here in Hancock County, Andrea Mallory. Glad to have you on the show. I appreciate it. Episode 1, ready to kick it off. I can't believe it. We were just sitting there talking about how there's going to be times where we mess things up, and this might be the first time. But there's trial and error. Appreciate you being on the show. Happy to have you. You should feel honored. You're episode 1. So
I am, and there will probably be a lot of mess ups, but we'll get through this.
That's the authentic part about it. We're just talking about what is that message. What's that authentic message? You don't know. I don't even know. I told her we're just going to go with the flow and see what happens, and hopefully that it can bring you some powerful information. Diving into it first, though, to kind of get more to know about our guest, I just want to start out and just understand where you came from and how you got about to where you're at now in Hancock County, because that is the show, obviously, Inside Hancock County, with me, Mitch Gibson. I know you did grow up in Wabash, Indiana. Is that true, correct?
That's correct.
Did you go to what school did you go to?
I went to Wabash High School.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then she ended up in the lovely county and also the city of Greenfield, which is where she resides now with you and your husband, correct?
Husband and my stepdaughter, Lauren, and 3 dogs right now.
What kind of dogs you have?
I just got a puppy, so I have a Shih Tzu.
I did not know that.
I just got one. Shih Tzu, Golden Doodle, and we got a Bernedoodle Sunday.
You're hiding information from all of us.
Yes.
I didn't ever know. 3 dogs.
3 dogs. I know it's
wow.
Kind of crazy, but they're all at different ages. But they're my kiddos.
So we've got a Great Dane who is extremely huge and such a big baby.
Mm-hmm.
And we've got an Australian Shepherd who's got ADHD and is as crazy as I am sometimes with his hyperness. But he is who he is, and we can't complain about it. But no, I did some fun fact I didn't know about you. I'm having the 2 dogs. With you living in Greenfield, is that a lot different than living in Wabash? And how that?
Well, I didn't just come from Wabash. I went to several places after. I went to college at Indiana State University, so I lived in Terre Haute, wonderful Terre Haute, for 4 years, and came out with a bachelor's degree in criminology and a minor in psychology, and went into the police force and did that for a couple years, and I decided that was not for me, so I kind of went into loss prevention and safety for Lowe's, and jumping ahead, I decided that was not for me, what I was doing. I was not self-satisfied with that career, and so I made a career change, and at that time in my life, I met my husband, Rob, and which I'm... Aww. But this is another maybe that... And a lot of people are going to be like, oh my goodness, but I met him on Match.com.
Hey, there you go.
Yes. And so it
can work, people.
It can work. It has. It has been very successful with Rob and I. So we've been married. We'll be married this June. Will be 9 years.
Well, congratulations.
So yeah, awesome. Pretty exciting. So he brought me here. He lived here, and I decided to do a career change, and that's when I found out that I really wanted to serve a community and help people. And that's where I started to volunteer at the hospital. That I love the hospital. They mentored me. They still mentor me today. A lot of people there, I think of them, of Bobby Keene and Dawn Earlywine had helped me when I first moved here. And then they just kind of nurtured me. And then the foundation of the hospital really took me underneath their wing and just kind of let me volunteer. But I then went into working for the chamber, and I have to admit that was probably my game changer.
Now, before you get into that, there was a little hiccup there before, if I remember correctly, right?
Yes, that was not so smooth immediately. I was looking for a job again. I wanted to do something, and everyone was telling me about the chamber in Retta, and Retta is fabulous. And I went for the interview.
And real quick, before, and I'm going to interrupt a lot. I'm just part of me, and it's going to happen.
Go ahead.
But for those who don't know, Retta Live and Good is the executive director, president of the Greenfield Chamber of Commerce here in Greenfield. So that's kind of where we're at the path here. No, I just wanted to make sure people understood if they didn't already know. She's a lovely lady. If you don't know her, you better go get to know her right now.
Yes. So I got someone told me about the position. And to be her, I don't remember what it was called at that time, maybe her assistant, I think. And I went in for the interview, and I was super stoked. I was really excited. And I was like, for sure I'm going to get this job. For sure. I had no doubt in my mind. Well, I got denied the first time. And I have to say I was pretty bummed. I was like, why did I not get it? So I don't know. Don't correct me. I don't remember the time frame, but it could have been a year from there, close to that. I reapplied. Someone told me again, Andrea, you need to reapply. So I did, and they took me. She hired me. So again, there's a good little tip that sometimes you can't give up. If you want something, you gotta go for it again. Just because you get denied doesn't mean it's a no forever. So I was there it was really neat. I was there for 3 years, and I really liked it. They changed my title. They changed me to membership development coordinator before I left, and I really enjoyed creating new membership. And so then I just know that's what created my relationships with the community. I really developed. I felt like I grew. I got to know small businesses. I got to meet leaders in the community. I started to join. I joined the Parks Board, the Boys and Girls Club Board, leadership. I went through leadership Hancock County. I can't remember the year I graduated, but I went through it, and now I'm currently now on that board, and I'm happy to say I'm president of that board right now. So yeah, I have just been really, really good, really actively. So then I knew I loved the nonprofit world immediately. I was like, I love this.
Probably never thought you would ever get into it from the beginning.
I had no idea. I have to admit, I knew what nonprofit was, but I never knew that could be a true career.
Right.
I didn't. Because I grew up Catholic, and I always volunteered. You know what I mean? That's not, I volunteered all the time. So I didn't even think about it, making that as a career, as a nonprofit and serving people, until I figured that out. I was like, this is awesome.
I don't think a lot of many people, especially, it doesn't matter what county or where you live, how many not-for-profits are made up in a community. I mean, there's more not-for-profits than you can imagine. If you literally took the time, especially in our town, if you either took an hour walk down State Road 9 or US 40 and just looked left or right, I bet you will run into at least 10 different not-for-profits that are have a different mission than each other. And that's what, in my eyes, helps community come together. Each one of them serving a different mission and has had nothing but great success and accomplishment. I mean, just like what's going on here at the Hancock Hope House, and to see what you guys are doing here is just exceptional. And to know your path, I mean, heck, you're right now we're talking in regards to going from law enforcement to now in the not-for-profit world and starting out, the not-for-profit world in the Greenfield Chamber. I mean, right. Where did you go after the Chamber experience? Where did you end up after that?
I went to the Daily Reporter for a year.
Okay.
So everyone's probably thinking, okay, I know.
Shift change again.
It did, but that was very brief. I learned very quickly that I love the staff. I love the team. And I was very honest with myself. I think that's the most important thing is that I think I knew that that job was not for me. Like, I knew I wasn't happy. I wasn't the same Andrea. I wasn't the bubbly. I was stuck in an office, and I'm not a stuck in the office type person.
Right.
So I said, I got to find something different. And I knew then I was going to go into nonprofit. I was like, I got to get back into the nonprofit world.
So you right away after, being at the Daily Reporter, you knew that you wanted to get right back into the not-for-profit world. And from there on out, your next step, I'm assuming was it here at the Hope House and you saw a job opening, or where?
Correct.
Where was your next steps there?
I had wonderfully been appointed from Rob Ferris came to me and asked me to even for an interview, and I was like ecstatic.
And Rob Ferris was one of the employees here.
At the time, he was a board member.
Okay.
I can't remember if he was president, but he was a board member at that time. And we met, and I was like, this is awesome. I never would have thought about working in this environment with the homeless and the people that are in need, but it's even better. It's even better than that. I have now being here a little over 3 years. I look back and I see that everything that I have learned, I have goosebumps right now because everything that I've learned from college, from my past careers to moving to Greenfield, learning about a wonderful community and volunteering, that I know about retail. I know almost a little bit of everything in this field where I'm at the Hope House. So it's about also obviously making money, building relationships for donors, running events. And I enjoy every minute of that. And the reason also is because of the mission. You know, you can't beat running a thrift store or running an event or asking for money or going to write a grant to say, hey, you are making an impact in your community by serving men, women, and children that need help. Right.
And I think that's too what a lot of that's also that you're getting goosebumps. I'm one that just shows how passionate you are for what you're doing, and too just the need for this in our community, and not just in Hancock County. I mean, we are serving. When I say we, I apologize saying we. I am a part of the board. I actually am the board president here at the Hope House, and I thoroughly enjoy it. Not my whole meaning of having Andrea as my first guest, but it's just after hearing her talk and having some conversation with her previously, she's just one of those people that I think a lot of people in the community don't. They know of her, but they don't know where she's came from. What she's about, and just some of the things that she's gone through in life to get where she's at. And like you said, she's getting goosebumps about it because she has had a passion for this, and she knows, and it took her some time to find that path and where she wanted to be in life. And I think that's one of the biggest things that a lot of people don't know even right now in their life. I mean, if you don't know where you're at or what you want to do, take a deep breath, pause, and if you're having second thoughts about the field that you're in, it's probably not the field that you need to be in. I mean, I know for a fact with what I'm doing in the insurance agency and the insurance business, I absolutely love it, and I know this is the place. It's the right place for me. It's my passion, and I think this is where Andrea is coming out and saying this is her passion as well. Whether it's in the not-for-profit world, but here at the Hope House, you can just tell that it means more than just a job. And when you get that feeling and you feel like it's more than just a job to you, then I think that's when you hit home and it hits the right place. With you, going back to your process, what would you say the biggest thing that was it the satisfaction of helping others that makes this job more rewarding, or what was the what kind of there's probably a lot of factors.
Absolutely. It's not helping the clients is amazing. I mean, that's why we're here. However, what makes this job even more exciting every day is my staff and my team and my volunteers and everyone else that makes it happen too.
And your awesome board members.
And the board members.
Awesome board members.
And my awesome board members. Right. Volunteers. Right. They're volunteer board members, yes. I'm excited to be here because of them too. They make my job so much fun. We get along. We know what we're here for. We're all on the same path, and we work hard. I know that every person here is doing their best to help somebody, some way, somehow. It takes a team. It takes a lot of people. It takes the entire community. It just starts with us, but it grows to help just a family that's staying with us.
Right. And I guess so to give everybody a better understanding, I guess where I was going to before my ADHD got me off the beaten wrong path. For those who don't know, what is the it's funny, I own it. I understand it. It's one of my favorite best things about me, but also my worst. For those who don't know, what is the Hope House? I mean, I think there's a big misunderstanding to people. I think that's not just with us, but with all not-for-profits. What's your mission and what do you guys do? Obviously we are in Hancock County. I think many people, especially the ones that are listening to this podcast, need to understand what the Hope House is about. And I challenge each and every single one of you to get up, drive your car over here, and just see what it's about, because it really is breathtaking, and the mission and the people and the clients that they're moving is exceptional. So what give everybody a quick little elevator pitch.
For number one, we are not an emergency shelter. That if you are looking for an emergency shelter, Wheeler's Mission will be able to take you 24 hours, 7 days a week. The Hope House is transitional. We are here to help individuals and families get to, they have to call us, we have to do a background check, you have to make sure that you can work, and you have to be able to follow rules and guidelines in here for safety purposes. So that's really, I know that sounds like it is really basic, but for some people it's not. A lot of people don't want to follow rules and guidelines, like being in on the premises at 9 p.m. and lights out at 11, and have to work a full-time job, not just a part-time job, but a full-time job. And we really want these individuals to find long-term sustainable housing.
Perfect.
Right. It's not just we just don't want a Band-Aid. We treat every person or family case by case. So if they're here for 30 to 60, 90 plus days, as long as they're following the rules and guidelines and they are progressing, they're saving money, they're buying a car, they're getting their eviction bills paid off, they are trying to be a better parent, and get their kids back and visitation, we will work with that. We will come up with a plan, a program for them to be making those baby steps to progress, to hopefully at the end of this is to be in long-term sustainable housing with their kids, having a job, with the car, that they can be able to do what everybody wants to do, live,
absolutely.
to live like. So
yeah, and I guess too, I mean, is there a certain capacity? I mean, how many people are you accepting? Are you accepting like men, women, both, families?
Now, I wish to say we have some openings, but we currently do not. We are full.
So as of
today, February 7th, 2020, we are full. And that can be subject to change every day. It just depends on who moves out. Usually, right now, it's a wait on the family wing and the men's. It's going to be a wait. Maybe you're not going to be able to get in immediately. So,
well, I just challenge you too. I mean, if you haven't, I don't want to spend a ton of time on it, but if you haven't, gotten a chance to come over and take a look at it, or visit us on social media, Facebook, check out the website. There's a lot of great things going on here, not just in with the Hope House, but all over the Hancock County community on the not-for-profit side. One thing I do want to ask you, quick things. Well, I'll make the statement. Not only is there a Hope House, but there's also a thrift store side of things too, where you can come and shop, donate your clothes. So I guess real quick, tell people what they can donate, what they cannot, the best way to donate, and then also the hours of the store so people can
Yeah. So we take donations Monday through Friday, 10 to 5, and then Saturday is 10 to 3. The store hours are they're 9 to 6 Monday through Friday, and then Saturday is 9 to 3. The only thing we really don't take, obviously, is used mattresses and some exercise equipment, the big old TVs. We can't get rid of those for free. And if you bring furniture, we love furniture, it needs to be gently used. If I always say, would you give it to your brother, your sister, or a family member to use? Because we don't want to give it. We want to sell nice stuff to, obviously to our customers.
If you've got that couch sitting out back, it's been in the rain for about 3 weeks, throw it away.
Correct.
Okay. All right.
Yes. Yes.
We
don't want, again, gently used. We can clean some stuff off, but bring something you would give away to someone, to your best friend.
Good. Well, I highly encourage you guys check them out. Go to the Facebook page if you can. Look up. Is it still the Hope House, or does it say Hancock Hope House?
The website is www.hancockhopehouse.org.
Okay, and then Facebook page. If you just look Hancock Hope House.
We have 2 Facebook pages. Is Hope House Homeless Shelter is one of them, and then the other one's Hope House Thrift Store.
Perfect. So go check them out. Follow them. Like them on the social media platforms and take a look. Also, you can, if you go to the website, you can donate as well. there's anything that they can do, please don't hesitate to stop by and look out, or look them up and stop by and check everything's going on here at the Hope House. Got a couple. I want to dive in real quick on a couple of different things. First thing I do want to dive into, I mean, through your path and through where you've been from high school to college to where you are now. As a successful, I call you one of our leaders in our community. But the things that you do, not just here but also outside with some of the philanthropies and all. With some great events going on in the community. If there was one piece of advice that you could give individuals or give, Andrea back when you were 18, 19, 20, 21 years old, what would that be? I know we all, for example, me, I just went through some, pretty different life changes myself on reflecting, and I, wish I would have done a better job of living life the way that I taught the game of baseball to people and to my players. So is there that one thing that you wish you could take back and tell little Andrea, do this better as because it's going to happen to you when you grow up. Or have you been a pretty level-headed individual, through most of your times?
No, very good question. I don't know if I've even really have said this to anyone, really, when you think about it. I would have done more research on what I went to college for. I was going off of great leaders, and those were my parents.
Right.
And so I don't know if I would have went to school for criminology. If I would have looked back, I would have went totally into the social work or into the nonprofit or something, or into I would have known things about that.
But do you think that process of that process of thinking what you want to go to college for, and then understanding when you get there that, or even when you finished your degree and got into the real world, and then you realized, for example, I'm not doing what I went to school for. Never thought of in the world I'd be doing what I'm doing.
Right. So I think I'm trying to impact the younger generation right now to really
make sure
think about obviously your parents are good leaders, and to listen to them because they know your good qualities. But I know that for a fact that you need to decide, just because you go to school, and I didn't do this. A lot of kids go to college and they know that it's not for them. I still thought it was the right path for me. Even when this all 4 years, I thought, I'm doing the right thing. It felt good. But it didn't feel good after I did it, after I started to get in the career. So I guess my what I would have done is go job shadow someone that you believe that you want to do, that you think you have an idea. Go job shadow. Don't waste time, because I feel like if you waste time sometimes in your job, people feel defeated. They get sucked into a job that they may not want, but they do it because of money. They do it because they don't know how to get out,
right?
But they don't know how to say, I need to do something different. And if it wasn't for Target in my life, I wouldn't be here. I would have kept on moving up that corporate ladder. If Target wouldn't have changed their structure in 2007, I probably would be there today. If just because they they downsized.
We're talking that prior
before
to coming
I came here,
before
I came to the community, I downsized and took and I didn't have a job for a year and a half. And that's when in 2000 it was 2009. During that
time,
2008.
During that time, though, did you, as Andrea, emotionally and mentally, did you ever hit rock bottom to where it was like, you felt
absolutely
extremely down, and how'd you overcome that situation?
Volunteering.
You found yourself a different path.
Volunteer. Yeah, I was like, I'm not going to sit at home and no one's going to come and knock at my door and say, hey, I'm going to hire you, Andrea. This is, so I knew that I had to get out in the community, and I didn't know I didn't know one person in Hancock County. So I immediately said, I got to get out and volunteer and find out what's out here and find a job, because I'm going to be living here for 10 years now. So, there's a lot of it. My advice is just to really dive in. I know you're young at 18, 19, and you're trying to figure out where you're going to go, if you're going to go to college or you're not going to go to college, or what career path you're going to take. But I guess don't be hesitant to change a job. If you're not happy, change. Make the change. Because a lot of people are scared, or they have that hesitant to do it. And it takes strength.
It does.
It takes courage to make those changes. And you got to be able to know what to do to mentally, emotionally, how to deal with that. Because a lot of people, we as living here, and I say Americans, we want the nice house, the white picket fence, and the dogs, and everything. That's what we want. But that's not what it's all about. It's not all about having the perfect house and the white picket fence and all the dogs and the kids. And it's about making sure that you're happy and you like your job, and not going to work every day and say, oh, here, I'm waking up and I'm miserable. But I make good money.
Right.
Or either. You hate it and you make zero money. So, right. I mean, I'm just saying, make the change and don't wait. Right. Figure out how you're going to make that change.
I think it's too amazing. I mean, obviously the money's great and everybody toots their own horn or toots, oh, well, I do this and this is awesome. I love my job. I make this much money. The payoff is really great. I don't really like it, but it pays good. Stuff in that nature. I thoroughly challenge each and every single one of you because I think a lot of people, necessarily say, they may say, oh, my job makes, it pays well rather than my job makes me happy. And I think that's where maybe you and I kind of see eye to eye in that is like my job makes me happy. Like what I do makes me happy. I thoroughly enjoy going to work. I thoroughly enjoy staying up some evenings late when Shelby's, at work and the kids are asleep. Thoroughly enjoy staying up late and working because it's something that I'm passionate about. Something that I'm passionate about getting better at. And I think that's where you and I kind of see the eye to eye together. And if you aren't down that path of being passionate or happy with yourself, one in general, and then two, if it's, you're not happy with your job or who you surround yourself with, figure out a way to make a change or figure out a way to take a deep breath and adjust to the change. Right. Adjust and make it a better situation or completely change in general.
Mitch just found it so much earlier than I did. I'm like, he's a younger age.
Sometimes it hits. Sometimes it hit. I mean, I'm not saying that I haven't, and
I think it's great. No,
gone through some stuff, especially in the past year. And I mean, to be honest with you, it's probably not going to be the last time something happens, and it won't be. But it's the times like it's kind of cliche. I'm not trying to sound like I'm a 40-year-old man who's gone through life and knows every single thing, but I mean,
he just said 40, and I'm 41.
I didn't mean it like that. I didn't mean it like that. But
go ahead. Moving on.
It's the times like the times like going through those really bad times and the hardships that make when that time does come again down the road so much easier, and being able to adjust and know how to handle that situation because you've been there and been through it before. And like I said, I think that's not just everybody, and that's, to be honest with you, to launch this podcast is not, like I told everybody in the intro video, is not for you to understand and learn more about Andrea's job and how great she is at what she does or how great the Hope House is, because I mean we're both looking at each other right now knowing how great this place is. I mean, it's a great thing, but at the end of the day, that's not what I want you guys to understand from it. I want you guys to be able to get positive things and understand that everybody goes through those times. Everybody goes through it, but it's the way that people handle those times differently and the steps that they took. Maybe it was a quick leap. Maybe it was a slow, long process, treacherous process. But everybody's been through those times, and to know that there's better things in the future for you. That's the most important. So I mean, thoroughly, that's hits you square in the face.
Right. I mean, I remember a time when I didn't have a job real quick, and I was dating Rob, and he would want to be taking me to dinner with his friends, and he had a really good job, and I wouldn't want to go, and that wasn't me. The reason why I didn't want to go was because I didn't have a job. I felt like I didn't have a identity, or my identity was lost. Like I didn't have something to talk about because everyone was talking about work, and
right.
That's work has, and our title becomes our identity. We spend a majority of our time at work, right?
Absolutely.
So I just knew at my time frame then, I was like, so I was so worried about my identity and what people thought of me because I didn't have a job. Even though I was doing really well at Target, you know what I mean? I was successful and doing great things. And then I knew I was, was doing everything I was supposed to be doing. But when you don't have a job, it's really weird. And then when you don't know what you should be doing, it's really hard. And everyone kept on telling me, do what you love. Go do something that you love.
But what is it?
You just said it.
Absolutely.
Every time do what you love, Andrea. Go find something. I'm like, if one more person says that, I'm going to go crazy.
Absolutely.
Because I could say that to anybody, but again, like Mitch said, what is that? So you really have to just continue to figure that out. And that's why I went to the chamber, and that's why I went to the Daily Reporter, and I kept on finding it, and I kept on getting closer and closer and closer. And I have to say, the Hope House may not be my last destination.
It may not be.
You know, there could be something bigger and better for me in my future. And I do see that. I do see more, and I do see different things, but that doesn't mean that's not here at the Hope House. It still could be big and better here at the Hope House. It could be anywhere, but there's always more. I'm always wanting to do more and challenge myself every day. But that's where I always say, it's like, you've got to love your job. Or at least a majority of it.
And I agree.
I'm not saying that every day is pleasant here and I love my job every day, but I do have to say that you really gotta want to get up in the morning and say, I want to go to work.
But you're right, and I think that gives me one more point before I let you go. But I think that, it's exactly right. And, when you're going through those times and you're decide, no, I want to try this, or I want to take a leap in faith here, or a leap trying this something different, and then you're worried about what other people think.
I did.
That is the biggest thing that's my biggest fear. And you can ask Shelby. That is my biggest downfall. Is I'm such a people pleaser, and I care about what people think. Mm-hmm. And I'm starting to get to the point. I don't take this as a bad thing. But I'm getting to the point finally where I'm like, I'm done caring what other people think, because at the end of the day, it's what I have in my heart and what I want to do. This podcast. I've been so scared for a year and a half now. I've been wanting to do this for a year and a half. Maybe not this specific topic or what, but I've been wanting to start a podcast. I couldn't talk myself into doing it because I was worried about what he, she, and everybody else was going to think about me. Instead of saying, you know what, screw it. I'm Mitch. I'm going to do what I want to do. And if someone has an issue with it, if you have an issue with it, I don't want you to listen to this podcast. I really don't. I could care less. No. But I'm doing it because it's enjoyable to me. I enjoy hearing and knowing about individuals in the community and what they've done. And it's not just people in the community. It's people who once lived here. If they've lived here before and they're living across the country, owning a business, doing something else, those are the people I want to talk to. Those are the people I want to interview. Those are the people who I want to hear their stories, because they didn't get to where they're at. I know for a fact, I never thought, I actually first started going to school at Mount Vernon, never thought once, with how big rivals Mount Vernon and Greenfield Central were, that I'd ever end up at Greenfield. Next thing you know, I was a Greenfield Central graduate. You just never know. But back to my point of not saying don't care about what other people think, because you have to. You really do. But to quit trying to, if there's something you want to do, quit trying to please people to make them see a better part of you that's really not who you are. Absolutely. And I think that's the biggest thing that's hit me, and I'm working my butt off on it. It's tough. It really is tough. But you kind of just almost got to say screw it and do you. Do you. If someone has an issue with it, it's probably someone someone maybe that cares, but also someone who may not have that same intention of what you're trying to accomplish with that. Would you agree?
Right. Oh, absolutely.
To a certain extent?
Yeah. Well, you have to get through those things for happiness and to be success.
You do.
You have to get through those things. You got to really understand, and we all have work to do on our emotions and who we are, but you really got to think about who you are and understand who you are.
Right.
And I believe that there are some people that really do, and then there's some people that we don't always see what other people see. Or anyhow,
I get what you
totally. Does that make sense?
But you still have to.
You don't see what they see,
right? But you still have to have. You're still going to have those people who you love, you care about, and they may still be hard on you at times, and that's okay. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying when your boss tells you, you're scared to do something because your boss is going to be mad, or not saying like that. But if you have a passion or a drive to go do something new or try something different, go do it. quit waiting. Because I'm sitting here talking, and this right here makes me happy that I'm just sitting here talking in a microphone. I went through a radio and television program in high school. I started out in college doing that, and I didn't have any issues ever. It's like, oh, Mitch, I want to start a podcast now. Oh, I'm so scared. Why am I scared? Don't be scared. Quit worrying about what they think. But you still have to be passionate about those that you want to surround yourself with and who you love. You still can't take away that time and that effort with them, because that core group of people who you want to surround yourself with, they've got to see your passion eye to eye, just like they want you to see theirs.
Well, scared is a good quality to at least emotion to have. Quality, emotion to have.
It is.
Like today,
You were trying to avoid this left and right. Don't lie to me.
You came today, and I don't have an agenda. I'm a person that's structured. I want to know things. I want to have questions in front of me. I want to have some some ideas of what I'm going to say.
It was a question I asked you. I said, guess what I have wrote
down.
now.
He came here with nothing.
Nothing.
Go with it. And just to give you a tip, there was nothing, and this is really just a conversation, and this is my first time ever. So I have to admit, it's really, podcasts are in. I listen to them all the time. They help me every morning. I listen to everyone, at least one every morning. And it could be 15 minutes, and I can listen to a 30-minute one or a 45-minute one. There's all kinds of them. So I'm not saying this, but they do help if you actually
engage.
Yes, and do what you're supposed to do. So, and people really make you feel that you're talking to them. Right. Really, just when I'm listening to a podcast after I do a hard workout, and I jump out of the shower and I push play, and as I'm getting ready, I think I'm running around getting dressed and with my dogs, I'm listening to a podcast, and it gets my day going. So I think it's huge.
Last thing before I let you go, that's something too. One thing I'm doing a better job of this year, and I think a lot of people, if you follow me on social media personally or my business page, you're surely going to see it and hear it every single time you hear this podcast. But I coach baseball as well, and there's a certain thing I always teach my kids. There's 4 things day in and day out you can control. It's passion, enthusiasm, attitude, and effort. If you control those 4 things day in and day out, no questions asked, no one's going to say anything to you. Whether it's your job, your sport, your life, your wife, your family, you control those 4 things. It's contagious. Those are controllables. You will make that better. And I think that goes into where you, in your morning routine, you're passionate about it. You're dedicated to it. You put effort into it. You've got enthusiasm about it. And you have a good attitude with it.
Yes.
And I think that helps you out throughout your day-to-day life.
It absolutely does. If I miss it, my staff does not want to run next to me. Seriously, they're like, Andrea did not do her workout and did not listen to her podcast. What? She is grumpy.
You gotta have a good balance. Find that thing too that makes you happy. Mine's baseball. I love coaching, especially on Sundays. You get out, kind of clear the mind, but also it's something you're passionate and really truly enjoy. Well, Andrea, I appreciate you taking the time.
Yeah.
I thoroughly enjoyed. This won't be the last time she's on. Hope to dive in a little bit more with some of her employees. I know she's got some pretty passionate ones here. Maybe get them involved, and hopefully we'll have the video ready for you by the next podcast.
Absolutely.
It's going to wrap up episode 1. Can't wait to see what the future brings. Next episode brings. Next guest, I'm not going to put any hints out there, but I'm just going to tell you it's one you're for sure not going to want to miss. And I'll just kind of leave it at that. Please don't forget to go subscribe to us on YouTube. Like us, follow us on Facebook and Instagram. And then we'll also be ready to join you again next Monday morning with another episode of Inside Hancock County with Mitch Gibson. Thanks, Andrea. I appreciate it. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day, great rest of your evening, great rest of your morning. And remember that you can make a difference somehow, some way in someone's life.